Welcome to this time of prayer. And today we're talking about words, actions, and practices. And that we all know that we don't like it when words and actions don't match, and that we all struggle with it at the same time, right? Do as I say, not as I do. We have all these sayings about it. And that we struggle with, we have an ideal of what we want, but how do we actually get there? And so that's where that last piece comes in of thinking about what we practice, right? Practice what you preach. And to consider that when our words and our actions are maybe out of alignment or we're frustrated with that, about considering what are the things that we do on a daily basis, what are the things, how do we practice life that maybe cause that disconnect, those things that keep our words and our actions from matching, from being in sync with one another. So for today, we actually are moving to an epistle, which is a letter, the letter of James, and it is a very late writing of the New Testament. And we're going to read out of chapter 1, verses 22 through 25. You must be doers of the word and not only hearers who misled themselves. Those who hear but don't do the word are like those who look at their faces in a mirror. They look at themselves, walk away, and immediately forget what they were like. But there are those who study the perfect law, the law of freedom, and continue to do it. They don't listen and then forget, but they put it into practice in their lives. They will be blessed in whatever they do. So James is really talking about that. James is a very practical thing, a very practical letter of trying to get us to think, okay, so the things that we say and the things that we're doing, do we forget who we are? Do we act like there's not an issue? How are we going about? What are the things that we're practicing? If we don't like the way we react in a situation, how do we begin to practice so that when we are in those situations, when we're reacting, that we change course, we take a breath. And so to really think about today, what are the things that we practice that really, they either build us up and are helping us thrive and helping us words and actions match, and then what are those things that really keep just hammering on us that we really need to get rid of them. We need to say, wait a minute, I gotta stop. And to think about this in terms of small steps, that it's little practices that begin to add up. Pray with me. Oh God, as we go through this day, as we're trying to figure out how to get our words and actions to match, as we're trying to figure out the things that we practice that help that or hinder it, help us, oh God, to realize the small things that we do every day that really have an impact on the things that we say and do, that have a huge impact. Help us to take notice and help us to shift and change in the ways that we need to. Help us to take up practices that help us really to thrive in our words and actions. Amen. Have a great one.